You should be able to deadlift and squat the same weight. That doesn't sound right to me, and I reckon a lot of you guys will say the same thing. It just doesn't sound right. But after reading another article by Greg Nuckols, which, by the way, I recommend you guys read some of his stuff. He's a very, very smart fella. If you want to geek out on some of these thoughts, go over to Stronger by Science and just read some of the stuff. He's got a lot of articles about lots of different things. Can't remember the name of the article I read last night, but basically he was trying to make an argument that we should be able to squat and deadlift the same weight. And he kind of breaks it down biomechanically why that makes sense. A lot of people have a 15 or 20% or even greater discrepancy between the deadlift and the squat. For me, it's basically 20% or thereabouts. You know, I can squat 212, and my max deadlift that I've done so far is 265. Right, so it's a fair gap. So what is making my deadlift stronger than my squat? Or let's reframe that. What's making my squat so much weaker? He basically breaks it down that, you know, when we fail a squat, we all fail it basically in the same portion, that universal sticking point, that just above parallel position. What he made an argument of is that position, that exact position where we are failing, that just above parallel in the squat, is exactly the position that we find ourselves when we deadlift. Yet we can pull a lot more weight in the deadlift than we can squat in that position. So what is going on there? When you squat, there's a bunch of advantages that we have over the deadlift. Number one, when you're going down into a squat, you are storing energy in that eccentric portion, and then there is a stretch reflex. That greatly makes us stronger when we move around, right? Whenever you have a movement where there is an eccentric portion first and then a concentric, you're going to be stronger. Deadlifts, you're dealing with a dead weight, and it's very, very difficult to move dead weight. You know, breaking that inertia is the hardest bit about a lift. At the end of it all, he basically goes like this. If you can't squat the same as you deadlift, you'll probably have a weak thoracic back. That's what's failing you. That's exactly what's failing you. Your back, your thoracic back. Because the bar is basically over your midfoot in that just above parallel position, which is very similar to a deadlift, maybe just a little bit off the ground, the initial pull. The difference is when you have when you're doing a deadlift, you're engaging your lats, and that's kind of aiding you in that thoracic extension. Also, you know, the lats are kind of stabilizing a little bit, but the biggest point, and this is the real point, is that the deadlift is more forgiving, right? So you can allow thoracic rounding in a deadlift and still make the lift, but if there is any thoracic rounding in a squat, it's finished. It just starts to crumble you from the top down, and you can't save the lift. The bar drifts forward and you're gone. So this is one of the reasons why we can deadlift more, is because even when our thoracic spine decides to call it quits, we can still keep on pulling. It doesn't matter. We can bias our positioning, maybe shift a little bit more weight to the heels, and just keep going and going, and we can, you know, finally unwind that back at the top portion of the lift. With a squat, you can't do that. So let's say in a fantasy world, we can strengthen the living hell of our thoracic extensors, so erectors, thoracic erectors. And let's just say no way in hell they're going to fail. What would that do to your squat? Imagine this. Imagine me squatting 260, man. Imagine me squatting 260. That is like night and day difference between a 210 squat and a 260 squat. That is crazy stuff. So I'm sitting there reading this article, and I'm like, geez, that kind of sounds wrong, but it also sounds right. Right? The moment you lose your upper back, especially in a high bar squat, you're gone. You're gone. And this is why when you go into a low bar squat, what are we doing in a low bar squat? We are reducing that lever and the requirement of those thoracic extensors. So it's making it easier for your upper back. You can just push with your legs and not worry about so much about the upper back. So the higher the bar goes on your back, the more thoracic extension we need. So what does that mean, Ivan? Stop freaking squatting and start working those erectors. First thought. The second thought is, well, what is the best exercise for thoracic extension? What do you reckon? In my opinion, the front squat. Which exercise challenges your upper back more than front squats? I can't think of any other exercise. Front squats. So let's put it like this. Maybe I'm making wrong conclusions here. If you cannot squat the same as you can deadlift, do front squats. Strengthen those freaking erectors, that thoracic spine. And you could probably make an argument that the lats, developing thick freaking lats as well, will help this. Both of which I haven't done much of. I have not done lots of front squatting this year at all, and I've basically done next to no lat work at all. I'm not deadlifting anymore. I'm just squatting. So I'm working on the leg drive, I'm working on the quads, but the more might I put into those damn quads and glutes and adductors, all of the stuff that you need squatting, you're basically pushing against an unstable foundation, which is the upper back, right? Like you keep pushing into a pillow, right? How do you transfer force through a pillow? Something that's collapsing. You can't. It was an interesting experiment mentally to read through that article. I read through it twice. This is the thing about Greg Knuckles. He really challenges, makes you think. And, I don't have anything to fight that argument with. I think he's correct when he says that. Thoracic extensors. Now, whether you can build thoracic extensors to that freaking level, whether that is even anatomically possible to have such freaking strong thoracic extensors that you can have the bar on your back and have the same strength as having the bar in your hands. I don't know if that's possible, but he makes the argument with these super heavyweights, right? Like they're so freaking big that a lot of those guys have basically identical deadlifts and squats. So he can squat 300, he can deadlift 300. And there's reasons behind that. Maybe because they have a really big belly and I don't know, the belly kind of supports them from collapsing that thoracic spine. It's kind of like, there's a ball, in your crotch, right? So, you're squatting down and there's like a ball resting on your freaking thighs, which is pushing up your thoracic spine. And that's why, your upper back seems to be stronger, but really it's just leaning onto a gut. Maybe that's why these guys can do that. Or the other thing is, and Greg talks about this, they can't deadlift as well because of this big gut. So really, technically speaking, they should have a much better deadlift, but they can't because the gut gets in the way. So it's an interesting concept. The biomechanically thinking about this, it's very stimulating. Definitely is making me want to do more front squats, basically, and it's definitely making me want to do more rowing until the cows come home. And this is finally in my mind. I'm understanding the value of a freaking row over a pull-up. So if you think about this, I've made millions and millions of freaking arguments when it comes to this. Pull-ups are better than rows because there's no spinal loading, and you can do the spinal loading with your pulling, like your RDLing, your good morning, and your conventional deadlifting. So why the hell would you want to do a row? You can tax everything that the pull-ups are doing without the spinal loading. So you can just do the same thing. But now, if we're thinking about thoracic extensors, pull-ups don't do anything for them. Nothing. Zero. Rowing comes back into the picture. Why don't I start rowing? I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking on the spot here, but we got front squats as probably the best thoracic extension exercise. We've got rowing, you name it. Pendlay, barbell rowing, any which way you want, supinated, pronated. You've got those pulley machines, seated pulley, cable machines, chest supported machines. There's so many different ones. The chest supported probably doesn't zero, now that I think about it, because it's supporting your chest. So you want to do something that is not supporting your chest. Interesting, huh? Really, really thought-provoking. I'm going to be simmering on this idea for a little while now. The importance of thoracic extension. How strong is your thoracic extension? How strong is your front squat to your back squat? Why are they not the same? Why are they not? Why? I've heard arguments about, the back angle, you can't use as much glutes. That makes sense. You can't use much posterior chain. Yep. But what about that thoracic spine? Maybe the real difference between a front and back squat is thoracic extension. You do not have the upper back stability to front squat the same as your back squat. Interesting stuff. Man, I find this stuff so fascinating. I'll continue to think about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Greg is wrong. Maybe everyone's wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's more to this. But it's an interesting angle to think about. Anyway, I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.